All right, hello everybody. We're going to take a look at the creatures that we have available. So we've got two of them, and we're going to take a look at Gunter's first. You guys can see Unity and everything, right? Cool. Oh, did you just pop in, Miguel? There you are. Hello. All right, so I just threw that in there. And where is your prefab? So this one then. Okay. So let me check everything out. So you may have done this right. Let me see. Yes, it looks like it's okay. So I'm going to turn this one off. So we've got, yeah, I was just trying to make sure. So here we are in the scene with the plant. You left the planter on, but you still have, you want both? You want both of them? Okay. Looks kind of weird, but all right. Fair enough. So we've got the script capsule. Okay. Animator. Make sure. All right. Have you tested it yet? Did it seem to work? All right. Let's give it a shot. Oh, you know what? I think I didn't drag the player. One sec. Where was it? Yeah, I have to identify the player each time. There. There we go. So that's what it should be doing? Yeah. It's gonna be in the definition of the animation loop, I believe. Okay. So now if I click on him, will he do the other part? Really? Oh, how close? Like this close? So my distance is 3, 4, 5, 6. So I don't really see any difference. Do I have to have also clicked on him? Okay, let's see. Okay. So the condition of the tree, okay. Player distance, threshold of, oh, you've got them backward. So the angry threshold is 0. So you got the angry threshold is 0 and the idle threshold is 5. So you probably want the angry threshold. Yeah, probably the opposite. So let's do this one as 5 and this one as 0. Well, wait a minute. Idle should be bigger. Idle should be like 6. We'll make angry like 4. So what's going to happen is like now as the distance exceeds the angry distance, he goes back to being calm. And when we're under it, so you want it to get angrier and angrier the closer you get, but never fully angry? Because we're not going to get closer than this. You know? This is 2 or 3. Probably 3 is a little bit more comfortable because then I can keep him in the screen. Like here I'm at 3 right now. And he's like fully framed in the screen. There you go. And then we click and he goes jump, jump. All right, let's see the. So on this one, you've got an exit time for your transition. I would just turn that off. It will exit on the condition, but it will do it immediately. So now whenever I click, it'll just immediately play the action. So no exit time just means don't wait until a certain part of the animation. Exit time means, yeah, it means wait for the animation. So what about coming back? See, the back one needs an exit time because there's no condition. It's just play the animation, come back to your default state. Are you sure you want the exit time to be at 0.6 though? Well, if your clip that you defined is snapping and then resetting, you could put it all the way at like 90 or 95 and the transition duration really low. Or if we were just going to make this equal to 100%, we could make this 75. So 0.75 and 0.25 equals 1. So now it will play and then just reset. Like, does that look correct to you? That little jitter, I think, is due to the idle cycle. Because that's what the idle cycle is doing, is that jitter. Doink. So let's look at the importer for that. So here's your FBX. We look at the animation portion, idle clip, expand this so we can see his head. Okay, let's play. Okay, so you've got it defined as frame 1 to frame 40. Let's try 39 and see if it helps. No. What about 41? That's worse. Okay, so let's stick to 40. Let's turn off loop pose. No, that's not it. Okay, so... Oh, you know what? On your very first frame, is it already doing the cycle, or is there like a saved default state, like an idle state? I mean, like frame 40, should it be identical to frame 1? I'm not sure it is. I think like something around this frame. Where's the numbers? This is a percent. That doesn't help at all, Unity. I want to know what number I'm on, not what percent of the clip I'm through. Oh, there it is, frame 1. Yeah, you're starting on frame 1, not frame 0. So maybe that's fine. Let me try. I'll try 0 here. Oh, yeah, it did freak out. Okay, so frame 1. How about frame 2? Still doing it. Is that slightly better? So when we bake animation, sometimes the curves get a little bit weird between the clamped off different cycles that we create. Like we create a run cycle, and then we create a walk cycle, we create a jump cycle. If those cycles are one frame separated, like you stop one on frame 20 and start the next one on frame 21, sometimes the curves get messed up. They think they need to flow between those cycles, and so you get weird hiccups. So I recommend that if you want to avoid that, put like a 5-frame gap between your cycles or a 10-frame gap so that they get to a position and then just hold it, and there's a little bit of time for the curve to get reset into a new position. I think this looks about as good as it's going to get without going into the animation editor. Let's see how it plays in the main screen now. I'm going to make this a bit bigger. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I just put it on frame 2 instead of 1, and then left loop pose and loop cycle on. But I'll show you what's happening. I hope I hit the button. Yes. I couldn't remember. So I'll show you what's happening in the cycle though. So let's take, wonder if I'll set it back to frame 1 and then duplicate this. Okay, so let's duplicate your idle so that I can mess with it. And we don't want the animator, we want the animation window. Where did it go? There, that's weird. I almost always have this one docked down there. Uh-oh. Oh, Unity, you're making me nervous. Okay, worked. So here, did I, yeah? Weird, it almost looked like it was read-only. Okay, so let's go to the curves. Boy, it's acting really slow. So you can kind of see, like, see at the very beginning, without even zooming in, how these curves look really wacky. And over here at the end, same sort of thing. That's what I'm talking about. Like, there's no reason why this nice, smooth curve should go hop right at the very end. But when you bake keys, sometimes it messes up that way and thinks that it needs to. So what you can do is grab that final row and just right click and set them to clamped auto or auto. Clamped auto usually. And let's do it for the end as well. And so now when I play this, now this clip isn't attached to anything, so I've actually got to put it on your plant to see it. But we shouldn't get a hiccup. We should just get a continuation of whatever the curve was doing at the time. And so it should be a lot smoother. So let's grab the animator. Man, Unity, why are you doing this? Being so slow. All right, and I've got to replace the duplicated idle here. We'll play and see. I think that's playing as smooth as it can play. And the little dip is just because it was kind of animated in there. I watched when your clip was playing, and he did have a little downward dip at the start. But that's at least gotten rid of the clamping problem. That makes sense? Cool. Okay. Very good. Okay. Anything else? Very good. Thank you. All right. Let's get rid of this one. Yeah.
Actually, I ran my project. This one is public.
Oh, good. All right. Let me go find that. All right. That one's downloading. So I've got Paul's as well. We've got the import, controller, prefabs. Okay, good. It's not including this one. I don't want it to include that one. The slot prefab, it says it's different. And I'm worried about that one because that's supposed to just stay mine. I'm gonna disinclude that one to hope that this one is correct. All right. There's the import. Let's take a look. Uh-oh. Yeah, it doesn't have. Yeah, it doesn't have the stuff. So he's got one that's got his name on it that doesn't have the plant. I think the other one named slot has. Okay, so I'm going to rename mine slot original just so that I don't replace it because I don't want to. And yeah, we'll import his. But I think, Paul, you got the names backwards. This one's supposed to have your name. Okay, yeah, we got the plant script. Let me drag the player in. I should have really written this script to search for the character tagged player, but I don't know why I didn't. And this one doesn't have the animation controller. So you got to put your animation controller on the one with your name. So try to get all that stuff straight. Where is the animation controller? Is it here? There it is. Okay. So Paul, a couple things to fix up. Let's test it and see how it plays. Looks like he's rotated that way for some reason. So let's see, is it a distance? Yeah, it looks like it's a distance rather than a look at.
Oh, that's what happened to me too. When I first put in the model on top of drag onto this,
Mm-hmm.
I had to turn it around.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, it's happened to me too.
that's pretty typical, though. You just got to reorient it to face the correct direction. Yeah, these models from Smash Brothers, they were actually facing directly up into the air on their back when I found them. No, it's pretty typical. Like between different different 3D applications, up is sometimes different. So when I clicked on him, he did this. Yeah. And now he doesn't appear to transition away from that, no matter what I do. Oh. The treasure. Let's see. So here is his animator. Oh, it like died. That's what that's what that is death. Got it. So we've got a blend tree for idle. So Paul, if you've got one parameter, you don't need a blend tree. You can just have this be the clip. So right here, let me see, can I change this now? Looks like not. So you made a new blend tree. Instead, you just wanted to make a new state. An empty state just has an animation in it. Attack, same thing. You don't need a blend tree if it's just one clip. So our transition here is a player distance. Transition back is a player distance. Okay. So that would have been a blend tree, right? If you want us to change from idle to attack based on distance smoothly, then a blend tree would accomplish that, right? One node, a blend tree. But now you've got two different states. So this is just a hard flip. We are doing idle. Once we go above this level, we go right to attack and we stay there until we drop below the threshold. Both of those are valid ways to do this, but you got to think about which one you want. And the way that you're doing it, making a blend tree, just doesn't function properly right now because you don't have more than one parameter inside here. Then our death state is clicked on. Okay. So at the end of all of that, it's working properly. Yeah, we flip to here, we flip back. But if you wanted to make this a blend state instead, then it would transition between those two. So let's delete that and come back to the importer. So I think that one's yours. And I'm going to need to bring the animator like up here so I can see everything. Let's put in a blend tree. And we'll make this on the default and set your transition back to clicked like you had with no exit time. But then inside here, we'll set this to player distance, 2 fields, and these will be your idle and attack. We'll turn off the automate so I can say that attack is going to, or idle is going to be like 5 or more. Let's make it a little bit more like 7. And then attack is going to be 3. So now it will slide between those instead of flip. Let's go ahead and try that. So now here, there's your idle. And now it's on full attack, where it should have been. It's actually acting pretty weird. Maybe the definition of the clip doesn't quite match the idle, which could have been a reason why you did it the way that you did. Essentially, both clips are playing at once, and they're kind of blending between each other until I get all the way up here, and then it's only playing the attack. But it wasn't doing that before, so I think you must have tuned it somehow that I don't quite understand. It might have been the play speed or something like that. Let me take a look at the... clip. Yeah, so it's like the clip is not quite looping. It's going whack and then coming all the way back up and whack all the way back up. So maybe the definition of the clip needs to change. I'm not sure. But the way that you had it before, I didn't notice any of that. Let me see if I can just undo to get rid of all my changes in the animator. I think I can. Let's see. And then, yeah, so here we're back to yours. Now let's take a look at it one more time. Okay, so there's the idle. I guess it's still doing the same thing. I just didn't notice before. And then your click on. Did I break the click on? I think I broke it. Well, I saw that it was working before, so don't worry about that. No exit time. Clicked on. Oh, it's a blend tree also. Stop making blend trees. You got all these blend trees. You absolutely don't need them. Boink. Let's just do death. There. You just drag the clip up into here. Just create an empty node. Create state empty. And then assign the animation right here. Or just drag the clip into the animator. And then we'll make this clicked on. With no exit time. So yours is actually interesting that if I'm back here and I click on it, it won't go to the death state because I'm out of range. But here it will. It's a little odd that I can see the neck through the mouth like that. You might want to take that and move that somewhere else or have his head rest on what would be the ground. Because I thought this was like some waiting for food animation or something. All right, there we go. So it works. There were a few things to change around in there, but generally we've got most of the functionality there. All right, Yang, let's look at yours.
Before you open mine, you already did.
You what?
Because I don't think in the one that you have right now, I don't think my prefab is on. So I just put like the one that is on the Google Drive.
Okay, I'll download it again. All right. There we go. All right, so we've got the controller prefab, FBX, slot prefab, and that one. All right. Yeah, let's reload. Okay. All right, so yours, this one, right?
Yes.
Okay. And let's make sure that the player is loaded. Right there. Let's give it a shot. Okay. Yep, it looks like he's sleeping to me. Starting to shake. He's shaking a lot. And then if I click on him.
You have to click on.
Yeah. And you can change the size of that collider, by the way, if you want to. All right, yeah. There you go, back to sleep. So if I click on him way back here, he'll do his attack still, huh? Do you want that to be the case, or do you want it to only do it if he's like awake or partially awake?
How do you do it? Like if you're like close to him, you can click on it.
Yeah. So let's see. Is that yours? Let's see. There we go. Here's yours. All right. So your blend tree is using player distance for the two clips, right? Your transition is clicked on. But notice you can make more than one condition. So let's add a condition, player distance less than, when does he wake up?
8, I think.
What is it?
I put it to 8. I think it should be less than 8.
Less than 8? Is that when it starts transitioning?
Oh yeah, that's when it starts.
Okay, when does it end? Like 5, 6, 4?
I think it was 4.
4? So we'll set this to like 6 so that the transition has begun at least. But if we're less than 6, we can click on them. If we're greater than 6, we won't be able to. And then this transition. So right now, if we click on him, he'll do his attack. And then when he's done doing his attack, he'll reset. We could have him continually do this attack until we move away. Right? So if I set a condition here, player distance greater than, what, 8 is like the final transition, then he'll attack, 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 and then if we move away, he'll transition back to the blend tree. So that'd be an interesting thing. So let's see it. So now I'm over here, and I click, and nothing. If I get closer, now he'll start doing his attack. Oh, that one didn't loop. So I messed it up because it didn't loop, but it's going to reset when I walk away, I think. There it goes. All right, so maybe let's not do that second part because we didn't have that clip set up to loop. So I'll just get rid of this one by clicking here. There we go. But now at least, there we go. Click, jump. If I move away, click, nothing. Now the way that the script works though, is that once you click on him, it keeps track that it's been clicked forever until it can do something about it. Okay, so if I take this animator and I put it down here, this button right here represents whether or not he's been clicked. So if I click on him here, close up, you don't even see the button highlight because it immediately triggers. If I move away though, and I click, see how it stays on?
Yeah.
Because the animation was never triggered, it's waiting to trigger it.
Oh, so once you get close, it's gonna trigger?
Yeah, see?
I see.
So that's a feature of the script that wasn't very clear, but it's not a problem with your animation. The only way I think to handle that on the animator side was to maybe to define an empty clip on like a blend layer that can trigger just to get rid of that that clicked status, but that would be kind of a weird workaround. In reality, it would probably be up to the coder to change how the logic works. Cool, man. All right.
Thank you.
So there's one other part here that I'm looking at, like the transition from attack back to normal is a little.
To that one, I don't know what happened there. They both have the same pose at the end, so it just went regular, but I don't know what's snapping at the end of there.
I think it's due to the transition. So here's the transition, this arrow, and we've got an exit time. The exit time is 9.5 and the transition duration is 0.05. That's really fast. So you might just want it to be a slower transition than that. And it's also flirting with resetting the entire animation. When you get too close to 100%, especially on the exit time, sometimes the clip will loop itself. So let's make the exit time like 8.5 maybe. And then the transition duration just 10 or 12. So not quite 100%. And then I think it will transition more smoothly. There we go. See how it's just a little bit smoother transition. So yeah, the more duration you give to the transition, then the smoother it will go from one position to the next position. The more exit time you have, the more of your animation clip plays. Your actual attack, this part, is only like 50% through the clip. So you could actually start blending now. So if I say this exit time is like, let's make it 0.6, 60% through the clip. And the transition duration is like 0.4. Now we could make it the whole thing because it's going to be at near 0 by the time it gets to the end. So your plant will do snap And then for the entire rest of the duration, it's just coming back to reset.
Much better.
Yeah, because the only important part, right, is the snapping the jaws, and that happens somewhere over here. The rest of it is just, okay, the rest of it is just go back to your position. So we might as well just let the system handle it. We don't need to animate that. So let's check it out in practical. So here he is. Snap. Yeah. So now it's a really soft transition. Now sometimes that softness can look kind of like hazy and indistinct, and so you want to tighten it up. But for your case, I think it's good to have that nice long transition. Yeah, and it won't matter now if I'm close or far away, like whether he's doing the slow or the fast action, because the transition will just blend with whatever is happening. Cool. Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, no problem. All right, let's see. That's everybody's, yeah? Unless you want to throw one in, Miguel.
No, I haven't gotten anything.
Well, that's okay. All right. Very good. Do you guys have any questions, problems, things that arose during this that you need clarification on? Probably not.
Not for me.
Cool.
I think we solved everything.
Okay. Then we're good. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.